this in prime time. Under the bright lights for you on the sidelines. The fans in the stands keeping doubly bright high. The gridiron fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, the miles, the moves, the Kepleys, old spaghetti legs. Ricky Ray, Willie Bless, and whoever comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E's a legacy. Double E over everything. Double E, we rising up.
A very entertaining football game down at Commonwealth Stadium, and the Edmonton Elks, they make it 2 straight victories. They defeat the Toronto Argonauts by a score of 28-20. They improve to 3-6 on the season. Welcome to the Green and Gold Postgame Show, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Iwanyk and Jay Milne with you here on this Friday night. It's a party central because of this win on this west end of town. The music's bumping, the bass is going, because the Elks grabbed that victory. The only reason the base is going here on the west end of Edmonton. Lots to get to on tonight's game. I've got my stat of the night for why the Edmonton Elks won this football game. We want to hear from you, though. Nasty chat on YouTube. You can text us 780-218-9999. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio, Apple Music, watching on YouTube, or for anyone listening to this on podcast throughout the weekend and into early next week. As I said, Matt and Jay with you here. Jay, your thoughts, early thoughts on this Edmonton Elks victory?
Well, once again, this team found a way to win. Was it the prettiest game? No, it wasn't terrible. I think last week's game was definitely more disorganized, disjointed.
If the Elks lost last week, there was a lot of bad to point to of why they lost. Today, if the Elks lost, it wouldn't have been as bad. Yeah, like that's how I like it. There's a lot more positives of this game than we saw last.
I agree.
There's a lot of positives in tonight's game. A lot of positives beyond the victory.
Absolutely, and we'll get into those.
Yeah.
I thought I just sent out my remarks on Twitter. I thought this defense bent, but ultimately they did not break. If you look at the stats from this, Toronto was 1 for 5 in the red zone.
You just stole my stat of the night.
Oh, Maddie, did I?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
That is the stat of tonight.
It is huge. It's massive. And you could even count like that late March by Toronto. I know it was just outside of the red zone.
I'm going to keep that one out.
But even 1 for 5, 20% in the red zone compared to Edmonton's 2 for 4 for 50%. That is, I agree. That is the difference in this game.
This was an Elks defense that gave up yards. This is an Elks defense that allowed Nick Arbuckle to move the ball for 382 yards through the air. Basically, almost no run game from the Toronto Argonauts yet again. So you knew they were passing, and you still couldn't stop them. The end of the game, if you want to, they moved downfield very quickly.
Oh, yes.
The Argos had, that play overall was 5 plays for 44 yards. But in 2 plays, they moved the majority of those 44 yards in 2 plays. That Elks defense bent as much as you could without breaking.
Yeah.
The amount of times that the Argos finished a drive within the 10 of the Edmonton Elks and walked away with field goal, I think was 3 times. One time they scored a touchdown. They absolutely tightened things up as close to that end zone as possible and held the Toronto Argonauts to field goals. This game, if the Argos complete at the same rate as the Elks, which is 50%, you can't be 50% on 5 opportunities. But right there, if instead it's you allow one of those to turn into touchdowns, add 4 more points to the Toronto Argonauts, it's 28-24. It's just a different feel to this ball game.
Absolutely.
That was, to me, the key of tonight. That this defense, while they were giving up yards and while Nick Arbuckle was able to move the ball on them, he wasn't able to move the ball on them in the most critical part of the field, which is in that final 10 yards, but more important, that end zone.
Yep.
That was the key of tonight's game. I don't care. You want to be a bend, don't break defense, that's fine. Just don't break. And the Elks tonight did not break as a defensive unit.
No, they sure didn't.
And sorry, quickly, even that one, the touchdown throw that happened was just a weird, they almost had it. They almost had an interception on that one themselves.
You want to get to the negatives that fast, Matt? Because
No. I'm saying like that's how good they were there, that they almost even had an interception on the one touchdown Toronto had in that. They were around that ball the entire night when it mattered the most. And actually, I'm to your point. I said I threw it out, but if you want to go to that last drive, the game's on the line. They moved the ball 44 yards in 2 plays, and then what did you do after that? You got the stop. This defense has been very impressive for 4 straight weeks, I would say. Mm-hmm. But that is the one for me. 1 of 5 in the red zone. And it wasn't like they just got inside the red zone. They were right there at your door.
Yep. I guess 22 seconds left in the third quarter. Serezna forces a fumble.
Big one.
Yeah. Robbie Smith turned it over. We talked about this in the pregame. This was one of your keys to the game, was create turnovers. I added to it. And I wrote on my notes, what did I write? Right. Are they going to capitalize on this turnover with 22 seconds left in the third? Yes, they went on a 7-play, 84-yard touchdown, which finished with Dunbar Jr. going for 2 or grabbing the touchdown. Yeah. At that point, it made it 23-17, and I'm saying, why aren't they? 22-17. They went for the single or the point after. Why aren't they going for 2? Why aren't they going for 2? Well, Toronto took a roughing the passer penalty, and then Blanchard kicked it off into the end zone. There's your single, goes up 24-17. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many ways we can go here. Do you want to start with the good? Celebrate the good.
Of course, yeah, 100%. Because again, last week, they played worse, and they found the victory, and that's one that I wasn't convinced with. Today, I could go through some negatives. I could pick, point out a lot, but there's a lot of good. And it starts with number 5. It starts with something you pointed out throughout the day on EST today. The Argos struggle stopping the run. But it wasn't just stopping the run. It was just stopping number 5, Justin Rankin. He was the leading receiver for the Edmonton Elks today. 5 catches for 87 yards. He rushed the ball 13 times for 92 yards and a touchdown.
Wow, 179 all-purpose yards.
Justin Rankin was a beast tonight, just like he was last week.
Yep. He's the most talented player on that team. No question. And guess what? They fed him the ball 13 times. Between him and Javon Leake, they rushed it 15 times, which for them is a lot.
18 times. Passing, he had 18 touches.
I'm seeing 13 carries for 92 yards.
Plus 5 catches.
Oh, for 5 catches. Yeah.
They fed him the ball 18 times.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
They got him 92 yards on the ground, 87 yards through the air. If you have a dynamic player on, it's like Tyreek Hill. I don't care where you line him up. Line him up in the back. Just get him the ball.
It's funny you say that because I as soon as you said he's the most talented player, I'm like, yeah, he is.
Who's more talented? Who's more dynamic? Who's more explosive than Justin Rankin?
But even overall, like at the start of this year, you would have maybe said Jake Serezna could be the best player. One of the best, the most talented player on this team. There was maybe a few others you could point to, Ralph Ford type thing, but it's just it's not even close. It goes Rankin, then it goes Fajardo right now. But this offense, as good as Fajardo has been, and I don't want to dismiss Cody Fajardo, this offense goes where Justin Rankin takes them.
Yeah, and this offense needs to exploit Justin Rankin. They need to find ways, and I'll give credit where it's due. 13 carries, 5 catches. That's a lot of touches in the most explosive playmaker on this team. Matty, I said it at the start of the year that this could be an MOP candidate. If he had games like this, 75% of the year.
What is his last 2 games?
He very well could be. So at least they're finding, the keys that make this vehicle run, right? It's on the offense. It's Justin Rankin and it's Cody Fajardo being consistent. 80.6 completion percentage tonight, upping his season average of 76. Right on defense, it's bend but don't break. Don't give up the long shots. I mean, early in the game, Cordell Jackson gives up that deep ball. I saw Luke Wilson on the sideline talking about how it wasn't his fault. Yes, it was. That was cover 2. You lost your man in cover 2. You have one job in cover 2. It's to cover the deep half of the field. You cannot have a brain fart in that situation. Cordell Jackson was the only real, if you want to talk negatives, Cordell Jackson was it. That touchdown pass that Arbuckle threw. Knock the ball down. What are you doing? It's a 50-50 ball. Knock the ball down.
Behind his head a little bit too.
Knock the ball down.
Slows.
Like, just know your situation. And that would have been 1 for 6 in the red zone because that was second down. They would have had to settle for a field goal.
No, it would have been 0 for 5.
Or, sorry, 0 for 5, yeah. Knock the ball down. Right?
Ranking, by the way, in the last 2 games, combined yardage, 133.5 per game. Pretty good average.
It was not a great kicker's night, was it? And for those wondering, yes, I did have a kicker rant ready to go.
Really?
I'm keeping that in my back pocket for another day.
So he's 4 for 6 tonight, officially. He made a 51. He did miss a 50. What was the official miss on that last play?
Okay.
At the end of the half. I will give him a break on that miss.
The one where the laces were pointed right at his foot? No. I said that right away. As soon as
that was his second miss.
Yeah.
His first miss, I'm giving a break because it was a long kick.
Oh, yeah, I'll give him a break on that.
Anytime over 50, I'm going to give you a break. And that is actually such a critical moment, actually, for this game because it ended with him. Where is that play here? He went for a 52-yarder, and Janarian Grant took it 64 yards when the Elks were up 13-10. If it wasn't for Cole Schneider, the Toronto Argonauts were going to go into halftime 17-13.
Yep, that was a huge
recall
play.
A game, I think it was 2 seasons ago. The team had a great game against Montreal. They looked really good, and one of the back-breaking things that hurt them in the second half was they gave up a missed field goal for a touchdown at the end of the first half. That is a crusher if that happens. But, okay, so he missed from 52, and then he missed another one, but laces are
facing him.
Yeah.
What did Einhorn say? Laces out.
Yeah, so laces were in.
Laces. So that changes your compaction with the football.
So
that is not on the kicker.
So he's 4 for 6, but his 2 misses, I will give him.
He should have been 3 for 6 because he missed that one flat out, but Toronto was offside.
Well, we're going to get to that. But so I'm giving him a break for the 2 misses.
Okay.
So that puts you to 6 for 6.
But he's not even the only kicker I'm talking about.
Okay, then you go to 5 for 6 because they were fortunate that Toronto took a dumb penalty at that play because he missed a very short one. But I wonder if it was in his head, the 2 misses from earlier. But then he made it. So, okay, he got his redemption. Officially, he's 4 for 6 for the night. I'm going to give him credit. He did hit a 51. He has the leg. This kid, and I'm going to call him a kid, he's going to figure out the accuracy on a even more consistent basis. This kid's going to be around for a long time. He's got
I think
the leg.
so. Yeah, he's got the leg.
Yeah.
That's fine. And, Cole Snyder, bless your heart for saving that touchdown at the end of the first half. But spin the ball. That is the number one thing they teach you when you're holding. It's down, spin.
Are you going after Haggerty?
Oh, I'm going after Haggerty.
Okay.
What are you doing? That was not a design fake. Do your job. I don't even, when you look at it from the back angle, from the end zone cut, Robbie Smith was not in jeopardy of blocking that. I understand. And here's the thing. This is how Taylor Inglis was on the hangout today. Former double E long snapper. This is the difference that a snap right in the wheelhouse, right in the breadbasket versus a snap that's up here.
That's high above your head.
Because guess what? When the ball is snapped into your belly, your eyes are still looking at who's coming at you. When the ball goes over your head or you have to catch it high, your eyes go up there. And then boom, they come back down. Robbie Smith is right there. Was he going to block it? No, but it's a split-second decision. He says, oh, and then he tries to, shovel past. It was beautiful. I was rolling around crying, laughing because I just love seeing when punters screw up like that.
Yeah, Ryan Dinwiddie wasn't happy to kick the ball, but at the same time, I'll after that, I don't think he could kick it on the run because I think he went to his wrong side, and I don't think he wanted to risk kicking.
Yeah, but you can still get a slapper out there with your left leg. Do the right thing. Just try kick it somewhere that way. But anyway, hey, it was nice to see it by the opposing team, wasn't it? To see a massive kicker fail, punter, kicker. It was very nice.
It's been a while since we've seen a real punter fail here.
Well, we've been
blessed with punters.
Kicking woes here, to say the least, certainly last season. But, at the end of the day, Maddie, I think that, for me anyways, that defense was the key. The offense, that third quarter, forgettable. But they did the job in the fourth quarter. They did what they had to do. Cody Fajardo needed 2 more passing yards for us to hit Jay and Matt's play of the game. Darn it.
Yeah.
But my Jay's play of the day
stats correction at some point.
Oh, that would be exciting.
Maybe they'll miss 2 yards on that. Jay's play of the day was Elks minus 5.5. That
and then when Blanchard missed, I'm like, oh, great. This is just how it's going to go. But it worked out.
It did. I am said that the play of the day, that one hurts a little bit. Not going to lie.
Justin Rankin that I said in the kickoff show, over 48.5 yards, that hit. It's good night.
Oh, actually, no, I didn't actually ride yours. And I missed that. I went with the lock shop partner parlay from earlier, which was Elks money line. Saskatchewan minus 2.5 and Lions minus 2.5. So you've already hit on that one.
Yep.
We got the 20. We'll focus on the other positives. That one was disappointing. That's part of gambling, though.
I saw some here. Cactus cut potato. Please, if you have thoughts that you'd like to share with us, hit us up on the inbox, 780-218-9999. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be involved in the nasty chat. Cactus cut potato. Could Cody be our next year's starter?
It's too early to say.
What are you talking about?
Well, he's the starter unless they could find something a little bit better. But
pardon me.
Well, look, who is he beaten? I'm just let's see what happens against Calgary. Let's see what happens against Winnipeg and BC. He is the projected starter for 2026, no question.
Yeah, there's no question that he will be the starter until
they roll out they go and okay, look, if you want to find a negative in this one, you're not beating Calgary the way you played today.
I don't know about that. Why do you say that?
You think Calgary's not scoring touchdowns in the red zone? Dedrick Mills is finishing those off.
I wonder what Calgary's red zone percentage is. I'll find it.
Look, we have to remember who they took on, and we were saying that this should be a big victory for the Edmonton Elks because the Argos aren't good. The Argos pushed you. The Argos challenged you here. There's still a little bit more I need to see from the Edmonton Elks to feel comfortable about them going up against the Calgary Stampeders, going up against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, going up against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and going up against the Montreal Alouettes team led by Davis Alexander.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
I'm not, where I'm not convinced yet is I wouldn't be shocked right now if Ed is bringing in some sort of competition for camp next year who goes up against Cody, who's the presumptive number one.
That's fair.
A lot of football still to be played. A lot of things can change. I'm not sitting here saying Trey. I'm not going there. I'm saying is there someone else that maybe the way this season could potentially still play out, I could see then maybe a shifting. As of today, as of August 15th, 2025, yes, Cody Fajardo is your starter for next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not anything else. But there are things that I could still potentially see over the course of this season that would change that.
Calgary's red zone to touchdowns. They've had 21 trips to the red zone. They've got 14 touchdowns. So that's, 66%? Say?
Yeah, just shy of 70, I guess that would be.
Edmonton's had 19 to 12. So, yeah, they'd probably be closer to what Edmonton did tonight. So that's another touchdown. Maybe a touchdown and a field goal, so 10 points. I'm wondering the question here, Matty, and maybe this is me being too optimistic. As you mentioned Calgary, and obviously, you can't look past what's next week with Ottawa.
I'll look past it right now.
But do you not think Edmonton will raise their game to play against who they're playing and possibly lower their game to who their opponent is as well?
I think now if you're starting to
Like
pick
the
up
Oilers have
victories-
done that.
I think if you're starting to pick up victories, your team. Well, I see what you're saying overall.
That's I guess maybe where that statement is coming from. At least
Right.
my feeling.
But if that's the way it goes, what we've seen is they'll still lose those games and they'll win the other games. When they lower their standard to play other teams, they'll still find the victory. But when they raise their standard, they're going to find a way to lose those football games. They haven't shown us otherwise.
True.
And that's why, like, this goes back to the kickoff show. I'm not going to feel fully comfortable with this team unless I see them split at Labor Day series. I'm right now very confident in them being Ottawa next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
well,
very
if you're confident in that, then you should be confident that they could.
Not
they're at
Calgary,
least in the
they're different
discussion
teams.
for splitting
No.
the Labor Day.
No.
I think they are.
I wouldn't put the Ottawa and Calgary on different stratospheres.
Has
they are
this
different
team
tiers.
been out of a game with Cody Fajardo at quarterback? Out.
No.
Not one. What would make you suggest that they're going to be out? I mean, they should have
just
beat
explained it.
Hamilton. Is
but
Hamilton?
They didn't. But they didn't. And
I
you can't say
know.
that. They still ultimately lost that game.
But
They because in the end, I could also they shouldn't have even been close against Saskatchewan. They shouldn't have been close against Montreal last week.
But then you can't use the same argument that they didn't win against Hamilton, but they shouldn't have been close.
Well, no,
it's
that's
one or other.
I'm countering it.
Snip, snap.
But I'm countering that to you. So if you're going to say that they should have been Hamilton, well, then they should have lost to Montreal, and it shouldn't have been a close game against
Why
Saskatchewan.
should have they lost to Montreal?
Because if MBT hits Tyler Snead in the end zone, that game's over.
Wow. Okay.
It's a 14-point swing. Well, it's the same as if Julian Grant holds on to that football. They win that football game. It's the same to me. If the player makes the play, it's different ball games. But in the end, the Elks haven't shown, whether it's Cody or Trey, they haven't beaten a team that's above 500. But outside, I guess they beat Montreal. But like where you believe that they're a strong team. So Ottawa is in a much. If we tiered all these teams, Ottawa's not close to Calgary. So if I feel comfortable with them being Calgary, or Ottawa, I don't know why I would have to feel that they're comfortable with being Calgary right now.
I didn't say comfortably. I said,
Splitting.
are they in the conversation
No, I didn't say
of
comfortably
splitting?
in them, but
You can have that conversation possibly if they beat Ottawa next week. Then you can say, hey, coming out of this Labor Day Classic, Labor Day game, Labor Day rematch, they could split. You could see that. There's a path to seeing that.
well, sure. I said there's a path to a lot of things, but what if I had to put money down on one thing? Calgary sweeps, split, Edmonton sweeps. To me, if this was a three-way money line, Calgary sweeping is going to be the favorite.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. This team is different with Cody Fajardo at quarterback.
I'm not saying they aren't.
And is
At no
this team
point I'm
not-
talking about Trey on any of this, or this team with Trey. I'm just talking about the last 4 weeks here.
And has the defense improved in the last 4 weeks?
Yes,
Right. So things are trending up.
they are. But you still have to go prove it.
See, this is your worrisome side still, Maddie.
It's not a worrisome side. It's the fact that they haven't done it.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. I'm trying to play a little devil's advocate.
Absolutely,
But you're,
and that's
you're
just
probably more
it's-
realistic than me. I'll be honest.
And that's
with
where it's like, I do believe that they're going to go beat Ottawa. There's a place that you can see some lines ahead of time. The Elks are opening up, or a couple days ago, we're going to be the underdogs going to Ottawa. I wouldn't have that if I'm play Alberta. I'm putting the Elks probably at -1 going into this game because you're going on the road. I would start with the Elks maybe -1, -1.5. I think when you look at play Alberta on Monday or Tuesday, you're going to see Ottawa as the favorite, which means jump on that early. I'll throw that one out there right now. I think Elks are going to open up as underdogs to start this week. You're
no,
going to
they're
want to
not. How could they? If they open up as underdogs, I might make that the Jay Milne lock of the year.
I'm telling you right now, pay attention to play Alberta
Okay.
Monday or Tuesday.
I'll be here.
There is a chance that the Edmonton Elks will be opening up as underdogs.
Okay.
You will want to take the Elks on points for next week.
Yeah, you're telling me. Matt, my key to the game. Well, I had two. You allowed me to have two.
Well, after you let me have my one.
Well, I had three.
Last year,
I had three.
I know, but last year you would go off, rattle off 2 or 3, and then like, you took mine. So I got mine in. You went with run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball and second
then-
down conversions.
Second-
Coming into this game, they were 42.4%. Tonight, they were 47.4%. Plus, they were 100% on third downs. They were 50% in the red zone. That is an improvement. Did they run the ball? Yes, they did. They ran it quite well. Justin Rankin finished up rushing 92 yards. That's a 7.1 yard per carry. That is impressive. They had a 5.5 yard per carry average coming into this game. So that was nice to see. My other key to the game, protect the quarterback. How many sacks did the Elks give up tonight? It starts with Z and ends with O. Or zero, or yeah, O.
Z and O.
0. They did not give up a sack. That is a big, big improvement. On the contrary, how many sacks did they get? 2. Plus, they had a forced fumble. Plus, they had 2 turnovers on downs. That's 3 turnovers in total, if you're counting turnover on downs. That recipe leads to a victory. When you look at that, when you look at those stats. How do you even like Joel DeBlanco?
He's been pretty solid, I would say.
He's been good for a second-year player.
Yeah.
But he's pretty much a rookie because he never saw the field last year.
He was a special teamser.
Yeah.
That was it.
And yes, they're missing Nick Anderson, and they miss Nick Anderson. But I would say for a guy that's come in and been pressed into action, he's been playing not bad at that weak side linebacker spot.
No disrespect to Nick Anderson right now.
He gone?
No.
This isn't a Brown situation at running back?
No, this is, though, the defense has been getting better without Nick Anderson on that field right now. If it started at the beginning of the season, or when this season began, when we went through the first couple of weeks, if we said there was one defender that the Elks can't afford to miss, at the start of the year, we would have said him or Niles. As the season started, we would have said Nick Anderson. Mm-hmm. To a large part, they haven't missed a beat without Nick Anderson.
I don't know about that.
The defense is being better.
Nick Anderson is better in coverage than DeBlanco, and that's Joel DeBlanco.
If you want to make the argument that cost them a Hamilton game.
Yeah, that's Joel DeBlanco's biggest liability.
I'm trying to see where the Elks got for red zones.
2 for 4.
No. I want to see how far they got, because Toronto, we know, got within 10. Like they were right there knocking on the door. One of the Elks drives, they got to the Toronto 23, kicked a field goal. They got to the Toronto 13, kicked a field goal. The 23 is not bad. Like, I feel really comfortable when the Elks are actually getting, when they get to within the 15 or so, I feel very comfortable. Like, it's almost automatic now for this team getting a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, the Toronto 4 was a touchdown. What's the last one? Toronto 15 and field, but that was at the end of the game where they were just rushing the ball. You could take away one of those. Because it was at the end of the game, they're rushing the ball to just kill the clock.
True.
They ended up in the red zone, kick a field goal. They weren't going for a touchdown necessarily.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it all that much because there was so much going on and you were setting up in here. What do you think about that pass interference?
This is why we have replays. I understand why the ref did it.
Do you?
To a degree. Yeah, look, it was.
I have no idea why you would pull that flag out of your pocket. That referee had the best angle on the backhand, which was supposedly pulling on the receiver. That was classic blanket coverage. JJ Ross put his hands in the air like this before they even touched the ground. Keep your flag in the pocket. What are you doing?
Hands in there, wave them like you just don't care.
Just stop. Nobody's here to watch you, Stripes. And I know we had ref week, sorry. And you know what? That referee's going to look back and say, yeah, I blew that one. That is textbook coverage. Give the DBs a break. And then you go and earlier you call
See, I'm more upset about that one.
A random face masking call on Dunbar that stalled a drive.
I'm not upset about
Led
the ref.
to a Blanchard missed field goal.
I'm not upset about the call of that one, especially when you look at where Dunbar's hand is, and when you look at the defender of the Argo and how his head goes down. I could sit there and see why you would think that was a face mask. What I don't understand about the Canadian Football League, and I said it to you at the time, was I have seen it called, I think I've seen it called this season even, but I have seen penalties get quickly picked up because the eye in the sky or something calls it and says, no, that's not a penalty. I have no clue in any way, shape, or form how there's no CFL automatic review of that face mask and going, that wasn't a face mask on Dunbar. That could have cost the Elks this game. So could have that pass interference, but they ultimately got that one right. They ultimately went to the replay. I'm never confident of the replays when it comes to PI. They ultimately got it right. I don't understand how the CFL didn't get it right when it came to the face mask one. And that should not always have to come down to the team needing to challenge it. There is supposed to be some sort of eye in the sky that the CFL has. I never know when they decide to get involved with the game and when they don't. That was such a critical moment in the game. That one should have been overturned immediately. There shouldn't have even had to been a red flag thrown onto the field in that moment at any time.
Do you think Mark Killam, head coach of the Elks, should have called a timeout to give them more time to look at that?
No, because I don't know when if they would have looked at it. Like I
even him as a team.
Oh, him.
But maybe the league steps in and says this is not even close to a face mask. That was a huge point of the game.
The flip side to that is I also don't know what is fully challengeable and what isn't. I don't know if you can challenge a face mask. I don't know if everything's challengeable in the CFL.
I'm just saying that eye in the sky you're talking about, that would have given them enough time to look at that and say, ooh, we blew this. This affects the game. We need to have the referee integrity, league integrity.
I know
we should reverse this call.
But the CFL, we didn't need the timeout, and we all knew after the replays. For those at the game, you wouldn't have known, but anyone watching on TV, Glenn Suter pointed it out immediately, and we all saw it on the replay in real time that no, that should have been overturned. You don't need a timeout in that one. But again, even if he called it, I don't know if the CFL command center or the eye in the sky makes any decision on that, because I honestly don't know when they make decisions. It's one of my biggest gripes of this league over the last number of years. I honestly don't know when they come in and get involved and when they don't. There's no rhyme or reason for it. And Mark Gillum could have called a timeout there, and they could have just sat there and went, why are you calling a timeout? Okay, cool. And nothing would have changed.
True.
But the eye in the sky there should have been some sort of correction on that one that had zero challenge required by the Edmonton Elks. I'm more upset about that one. I understand why you're upset about the PI one. I don't know. I understand, again, you're going to get mad, but I do understand when the receiver putting their arms out hey, it should have been pass interference, why the ref might be inclined to be oh, that's a pass interference and throw a flag. I kind of get that human element of it.
No.
I do.
No.
I get it.
No. Nuh-uh. They aren't humans. They can't have feelings. They need to call the game as they see it. I don't mean that literally.
I know.
mean, they can't have that thought. They can't. They have
but in
to
a split second,
remove
I
that.
could just see how instinct would be, oh, that's PI. Because, hey, he's upset at PI. I could see how just instinct would go, oh, penalty.
Yeah.
It was such a late flag. I don't like late flags.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So that's where I go. I feel like he thought as official because of how late it was. Well, look how mad he is. His hand was near it. That must have been pulled. Here we go. And that's why it went. But I also fully understand why you're fully upset about that one. Because Dusty and Suits on the broadcast even, they were trying in every way, shape, or form to find a way to see what that ref was seeing. And they couldn't come up with a single point on that play being like that right there. Elks beat the Argos 28-20. For those wondering about attendance, 16,526 in this one as the Edmonton Elks improved to 3-6. They will take on the Ottawa Red Blacks next Friday out in Ottawa. It'll be a busy Friday for us again next week. But
Chris in the kickoff show did say double E by 8. He didn't give an actual score, but his guess was double E by 8. McDiesel was 2019 or 1920. He had Argos winning by 1. Johnny Alberta was close. He had 28-25 Elks. Let's get into some messages, Maddie.
Before that, if John Alberta is listening right now, let's go Red Devils.
Like Red Devil. What's a Red Devil?
Okay.
That's a fishing lure.
It's not.
Let's go catch some fish, Red Devil.
Manchester United.
Give me a Len Thompson.
United Arsenal
That's a
Sunday.
spoon.
9:30. NBC. You go watch it. Oh,
Isn't
no, you
it-
can't. You're busy.
Yeah, I'll be in the middle of running a race I don't really want to run, but I have to. Coach Mike says Fajardo had time in the pocket. It's hard to believe, but the Elks should go into Labor Day 4-6. Do you guys like using Fajardo in short yardage? Yes, I do. I don't like bringing in somebody that has not been taking center exchanges for the entire game, who is not comfortable in the, behind center, does not know, hey, which center or which guard or which side of the line is getting more push because they've been in there all game. And it's not an area of injury for the most part. The quarterback usually ends up falling on top of the pile with somebody trying to get the ball out. It's very rare that the quarterback is under that pile of all these players, right? And Cody Fajardo does it well. He tucks his head in behind his guard's fat ass and gets that extra yard. Fajardo's the person to be in short yardage. That's my belief. Matt?
Ricky used to do it all the time. I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know. I think I know when this changed for teams, because the opposing head coach tonight for the Toronto Argonauts, Ryan Dinwiddie, the reason he played a Grey Cup game was because Kevin Glenn got hurt on a QB sneak at the very end of an East final. And it cost the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a Grey Cup. The Riders would not have won that Grey Cup if Kevin Glenn was starting. Dinwiddie came in through 3 picks. He was awful in that game. I feel like that was the start of the turning point of going to a backup. Again, I saw Ricky do it for many years. I don't know why. I'm fine with it, sticking with Cody. I don't come out of it one way or another. I really don't. The only thing I'll say is if whoever you come in and gets it done, I will get more upset with if they don't get it done than the starting quarterback. Because then, well, not with the player, but with the call. Because then it'll be like, well, if Cody messes up or that team that messes up and it's a third down stop, I'll praise the defense and a great play. The other one is just like, well, why are you doing that? So I don't have a major opinion one way or another, but I do go back to it. If I recall correctly from growing up, then yeah, Ricky Ray was doing it. I just quickly want to say, with the eye in the sky, I'm glad, like, sometimes I feel like it's one of those moments where, am I just making up the eye in the sky in the Canadian Football League? Because it doesn't always happen. And I'm glad Dwayne from Tway says usually the eye in the sky comes in to screw the Riders, that somebody else has seen the eye in the sky. Like, it's just one of those moments that I'm glad somebody texted in about that, because I do sometimes wonder when I think about the eye in the sky and going, am I making this up? Am I making up that in the past, over the last few seasons, the CFL has a command center overturn a call without any sort of challenge or a scoring play or anything like that they randomly pick up an offside or something like that? And I do worry sometimes that I'm just making it up. But the fact that I see Dwayne's text or the message in the nasty chat makes me feel like, yes, it does happen, and I am not crazy. And then he also says, screw you, Matty, the Riders would have won that Grey Cup. I don't believe they would have. That Bombers team was strong. I don't think they would have. They were a good Riders team. I don't want to say anything away from that one, but I don't think they beat Kevin Glenn and the Bombers that year.
Jim in the inbox says, guys, please quit whining about refs. Elks won. Cheers, Jim. Not fair. I don't want to bag on him. I was more pointing out that two major calls that ultimately that pass interference at the end of the game, that ultimately could have changed the course of the outcome of the game.
Well, I'll start with that one. The Argos are done. They're finished. Mm-hmm. They lose the game. Instead, a flag comes out. They then would be on the Edmonton 19 with 34 seconds left. There's plenty of time to get into the end zone and possibly get a 2-point conversion. We're talking about overtime. Yeah, there's plenty of time of that at that moment. I want to go back to then the Stephen Dunbar penalty. The Elks would have been to the Toronto 15 Instead, they moved to the Toronto 25. Then they moved to the Toronto 40. So instead of at the Toronto 40, had a couple bad plays. Yeah. They kicked a 43-yard field goal, which ultimately was no good. Led to a single. But Toronto 15 is where they would have been. The Edmonton Elks would have scored a touchdown on that play. Or in that drive. So instead of, they were up 24-20. The Edmonton Elks would have been up 31-20. This game was closer because of one penalty, and it could have been a tied ball game because of a second penalty that were poor calls. Now, on the flip side to that, the Toronto Argonauts should have gotten an illegal contact penalty. The Edmonton Elks should have gotten an illegal contact penalty.
Yep.
In the first half, Maital got hit. He should have also caught that football and scored a touchdown. But there should have been at least the illegal contact on the play. It should have been a reset of downs. The Argos should have had another shot at that. I will say fair play on that side too. But at the end of this game, there was two bad calls outright. And one was a bad call that it got even overturned by the CFL review. And how bad of a call was it? How often do you watch a CFL game where pass interference gets challenged and it gets overturned? It's actually pretty rare.
This one comes in from Matt in Nanaimo. Listen to the game while camping with my son. We tossed the ball around, had hot dogs and mac and cheese, and he cheered when the Elks won. Memories made on boys' trip. Praise for the big win. Matt in Nanaimo, currently at Miracle Beach. Matt and your son, thank you for listening. Enjoy the father-son time. I'm glad you're having a memory-filled vacation.
Looks beautiful.
I know. I looked it up where it is. If we could, this one's from Shanked One. If we couldn't get a good look at the face mask with all the camera angles, how could the ref make that call? I will say that the player's head dipped. And usually if you have a hand that's up close and the face mask or the head dips at the same time, you would assume that that's face mask. I don't blame the referee for throwing that face mask. I agree. That call. I think he's just making a,
But what replay didn't show that
was not even close?
What replay showed even a thought that, oh yeah, maybe that one he got got the face mask. There wasn't one. And we didn't need a timeout for that. Like, we all saw that between the penalty and then the snap for the next snap. We had enough time to watch the replays and know that was not a face mask. We had it. If you're watching that game on TV, if you didn't see the fact that wasn't a face mask, I don't know what game you were watching, because between you and I and Suits and Dusty, I don't think anyone. I think Dusty's here. He's dropping off. I heard the door unlock from him.
Okay.
He's made it into our parking lot. It's just I don't see any moment where you could argue that was a face mask. There was not a single shot where you even think, yeah, okay, actually, you want to know something? That right there. That to me was conclusive enough to say his face mask was not touched by Steven Dunbar.
The man in the suit is here.
What's he doing in his suit? Yeah, I guess he would.
Oh, yeah, looking pretty good.
Hitting an Elks -2.5 was a fun change. That Nick in the north. Tube Socks, laugh all you want now, but the Elks are storming into the East in the crossover, and someone's season is about to end in green and gold. When you look at the playoff races, big game tomorrow now. Can the Montreal Alouettes surprise and defeat the BC Lions? And then the Edmonton Elks will be 2 points back of the Lions for 4th spot in the West and would have a game in hand. The Edmonton Elks are now tied with the Ottawa Red Blacks. They are 2 points up on Toronto. A win next week over Ottawa. And the Argos have the BC Lions, though. But a win next week, the Edmonton Elks would be sitting naturally in 3rd in the East if they could find a way to get a crossover spot. They have to win these games, and they're doing it right now. That's the key. We said it in the kickoff show. Like, the schedule that you have, if you want to be a playoff team, these are the games you have to absolutely crush off, and there's no room for error. With where they are in this season, there's zero room for error. They got it done today. They got it done last week. They should be able to go get it done against Ottawa next week.
Can you imagine if Ottawa can somehow upset tomorrow?
Montreal.
Montreal.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Well, I said imagine if Montreal.
I wasn't listening to you clearly. I was looking at the chat. Sorry. Forgive me. Just seeing if there was any audio up. Sorry, Matthew.
Did you see anything?
Nothing yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then what does this mean for next week? Is this now another game that's going to be looked at similar to this game?
It should be, except I don't think you could expect a blowout for two reasons. One, the Elks are a road team. So that right off the bat, it's always going to be tough. Ottawa's proven to be comeback kids a little bit. They did it against Toronto, got the victory. They did it against Winnipeg this week. Came up just short. The Red Blacks will be scrappy. The Redbacks are going to come to play. I don't think we could sit there and think that this Edmonton Elks team is going to go roll the Ottawa Red Blacks. Do they have it in them to go do it? Yes. But I think I got to give a little bit of credit right now to the Ottawa Red Blacks and say, if the Edmonton Elks get up by a good score, which, hey, the Red Blacks did against Edmonton. If the Edmonton Elks get up by a decent score in this game, the Red Blacks are going to fight and come back. Don't count them out until it's over. Mm-hmm. That's my initial look at this one. That's why I think, like, if I was setting a line, I would put the Elks to start the week probably at about -1.5. But again, I do have a feeling, based on nothing, but I have a feeling the Elks are going to open up as underdogs. You may want to jump on that one early on Play Alberta, which means you may also want to listen to Jay's Play of the Day on Monday, if that's the case. Just going to throw that out there. There's at times the lines of the CFL could be a little wonky earlier in the week, and then things change and things settle. This is one to potentially watch. What about you for next week?
I think just keep this momentum going. If they play similar to how they played tonight, they win. Plain and simple. If they get
Against
the contributions,
Ottawa, yes.
If they
100%.
get the contributions from the defense, the bend but don't break mentality. If they get Cody Fajardo, maybe has a little bit of a better passing night.
Well, I'll throw a question your way. What if a team contains Justin Rankin? Does this team have it in them to go win a football game?
Well, if you're containing Justin Rankin, you are doing that with concerted effort.
Yes.
Which means there's going to be other areas of the field that you can expose.
But is this team going to be capable of doing that from what we've seen this season?
Yeah, well, answer B, I don't think you're going to fully contain Justin Rankin now that they've discovered that he's as useful out of the backfield as a receiver as he is inside the tackles. That's dangerous.
That would be the one concern, though, I have right now for this team, is if a team goes out there, and I'm not thinking it's Ottawa.
Yeah, but if you're going to say, okay, take our Sam linebacker or bring in a nickel coverage, and that person's only job is to shadow Justin Rankin outside of the box, or if he swings out. Well, guess what? Then you're opening up one-on coverage for, Dunbar, Gittins. I mean, Victor had a decent night again tonight.
Yeah, what did he do tonight?
Kion, Julian, Grant. I mean, these guys in one-on-one coverage will eat you up. It'll be pitch and catch. 3 for 30. Yeah, that's great.
No, I'm really fascinated by him. I want to keep seeing what more he could do.
You know what's one thing that we haven't really talked about a lot with this team this year? Penalties. Penalties have not been an overarching
there's been
issue.
Like 2 games maybe where penalties have been an issue.
2 penalties for 20 yards tonight.
Very clean game.
Compared to 8 penalties for 90 yards with Toronto. That's a massive
Wait, Edmonton
difference.
was 2 for
20.
Take away the Stephen Dunbar. Wasn't a penalty. 1 for 5.
Well, if okay.
I ultimately have to take away the Stephen Dunbar penalty.
Sure.
I'm not going to blame. I'm going to shorten that myself because that was not a penalty on Dunbar, and that was a 15-yarder. 1 for 5. I don't even know which one that was.
Toronto had the slight edge in time of possession at 31:05 compared to Edmonton's 28:55. But I mean, just look at this, Maddie. I mean, if you look at the percentage, the pass completion percentage for Cody Fajardo, 80.6%. See you, Dusty. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. Total first downs, 23 for Edmonton, 20 for Toronto.
Well, that's one of the things. Time of possession, though, is that Toronto had some drives. They were able to move the ball.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to the stat of the night, which you threw out there. 1 of 5 in the red zone for the Toronto Argonauts. They kicked a field goal, but the Elks stopped them 4 other times in that red zone and held them. Yeah, hold on time of possession. Feel free, but you're not scoring touchdowns. That's how they handle tonight.
It's interesting looking at Edmonton's drive chart. When they had drives of 5 or more plays, they scored. Field goal on a drive of 6. Field goal on a drive of 8. Touchdown on a drive, that was the only outlier, was a touchdown on a drive with 4 plays. 7-play drive, field goal. 7-play drive, touchdown. 9-play drive, missed field goal. We just discussed that. That was after that Dunbar phantom face mask. 5-yard drive, field goal. That's the most number of drives over 2 and out that I've seen this year. Would you agree?
Yep.
Things are trending up, Maddie. Don't look now. Don't look now, Maddie.
And the game doesn't count. I still have to look at the opponent that it was coming to this one. Like, if there's one thing I will critique from the defense tonight, too many times Nick Arbuckle was able to escape pressure. There was a number of times he was able to move around that pocket, get out of the pocket when pressure was there. That's one thing that needs to get cleaned up. There are a couple of other quarterbacks that will hurt you a lot more than Nick Arbuckle in that sense. Nick Arbuckle doesn't have the legs as much. We've seen it with Nathan Rourke. VA is a guy that will scramble on you. Davis Alexander is a guy that will scramble on you. There's a couple of guys that can scramble. And Dustin Crum's a quarterback. If there's a thing for next week, Dustin Crum could move. I would expect him to be the starting quarterback because Drew Brown hurt again. His career is plagued with injuries.
But you're going to have a different game plan for those quarterbacks.
Yeah, but if there's if there's a big thing that the Elks have struggled on this year, it has been the mobile quarterbacks. They've struggled containing them largely. And again, tonight, Nick Arbuckle was able to move out of that pocket when when they were there. Like they missed their play. They couldn't get the tackle done, and Nick Arbuckle escaped. You have a guy like, I'm just going to say, next week I'll go Dustin Crum because we saw it just last night against Winnipeg. He's either going to escape and gain yards because he's a guy that can actually run and get yards a little bit better, or he's going to also hit his receiver. He's got some really nice weapons.
How do you think Blanchard did as punting tonight? It got off to a little bit of a rocky start, right?
Not a great one. He did have a 53. It was solid. There was no real concerns. I think both returners had a little bit of an issues tonight. Grant had this weird play where he tried stopping the ball or something, almost gave it up. Leak had a couple returns tonight where he was running backwards on that one, and then he just didn't have the angle, and he just kept running backwards. And he was like, "You're losing yards, dude. Come on." And then he dropped that ball right at the 5. He ended up making it to about the 10. So that worked out a little bit there. But I thought Blanchard handled the kicking duties all right. You?
I think he handled it all right. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, we just got to run the Sean Fleming back." I think you need a dedicated kicker.
You think?
Yeah. The difference in the averages. I mean, Cody Grace was netting in the 50s, was he not?
This season, I'll pull it up for you right away here.
I mean, tonight, it's a small sample size. It's only 4 punts, but Vincent Blanchard's net was 36.
But his average was 43.
His average was 43.
Player stats. Let me get punting up for you here quickly.
I would imagine Cody Grace's is closer to 54, 53.
No, I don't want punts. Sometimes the CFL website could be. Punting kickoffs. Here we go. So punt, they just do average. They don't say net average. Cody Grace's was 48.6 average this year, not net average. Oh, here you go. Is this broken down by season? Yeah, no, I'd have to do the math here. His net yards is 1972. on 54. His net was 36.5.
Who?
Cody Grace.
Okay.
And Vincent Blanchard was 36.8. Cody Grace's average this year was 48.9, and Blanchard's at 43.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something that you look at and you gain an extra roster. I think that's why a player like Plumundon would have been in tonight.
Yeah, no. So I think, when you look at those numbers, they're lower, but we knew they would be lower. I don't think it was a situation. It's one for sure. I think you stick with it for Ottawa. I don't think you need to rush this.
True.
You can wait and see.
Is Cody Grace out for the year?
He was 6 games. That's all I know.
Okay.
But you could always come back off the 6 game early. I think you have to eat, if I'm not mistaken, the full cap at that point. Like I think that's the way you could come off the 6 game early. Otherwise, you got to go through the full 6 game. So he would have been placed in the 6 game. This is one. If he's going to be coming back this season and he is following the 6 game, that would mean week 2 would be Ottawa, week 3 would be Calgary, week 4 would be Calgary, week 5 would then be Toronto, week 6 would be Hamilton, then they get a Saskatchewan. So September 27th against Saskatchewan would be his first game possibly back if he's just 6 gamed. So we shall see. But they did sign a global punter. That adds for the Cody Grace being a global too. So I wonder if they signed him just a few days ago. Maybe he wasn't ready yet. So maybe we'll see leading into Ottawa. I think if Vincent Blanchard is the punter against Ottawa, my assumption would be that he's going to be the punter until Cody Grace is back. Unless something falls. But
yeah, that's fair.
I'll say it didn't impact his leg today. I wouldn't say a guy who went out for 6 field goals. He still had his leg on them. And his accuracy was largely still there. Laces in. Got to make them laces out, though. Got to make them laces out. We just got a few more minutes left here on the Green and Gold Postgame Show. Iwanyk, Jay Milne with you. The Edmonton Elks defeat the Toronto Argonauts 28-20. They improved to 3-6 on this season. Ottawa up next Friday. And then it will be that little extra break, sort of, because then it'll be Labor Day Monday. The Edmonton Elks will be taking on the Calgary Stampeders. If you want to join EST and Double E fans and Nasties, down to Calgary. Jay's going to be on the bus. I'm going to be on the bus. Hernan's going to be on the bus. Eric's going to be on the bus. Trev's going to be on the bus. Jasmine's going to be on the bus. Zach's going to be on the bus. Nasties are going to be on the bus. EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Click on Labor Day bus. 125 plus GST if you use promo code EST Labor Day. The second bus is filling up quickly. You're going to want to get in on this because they're going to be completely full shortly. Round trip from Commonwealth to McMahon and back to Canadian clubs. Tickets to the game. We'll be there for the tailgate. There'll also be pizza on the ride back. We'll stop in Red Deer if you want to get a quick bite as well on the way down. Come join us. EdmontonSportsTalk.com. EST or Labor Day bus. EST Labor Day is the promo code. Also, just a reminder that the Edmonton Elks next up will be the next home game is the rematch. Tickets go fast for that one. If there's a game in the year where tickets sell, it's going to be that one. GoElks.com. Go get your tickets now because that game, the sooner you get your tickets, the more likely you're going to be locked in. And I have heard that game is actually selling quite well already.
Could you imagine? Let's just close your eyes. Dream with me, Maddie. The Elks go take care of business in Ottawa next weekend. They come back on a long week. A lot of rest there. Labor Day. They upset Calgary. Would we be looking at lower bowl sellout?
It was last year. Same
I
type
would
of
think
situation.
So. A chance to go to 6-6?
It was the exact same situation last year. It was
Wouldn't
sold
that
out.
be something? That'd be great.
Truthfully, lose Calgary even then. You're 3 of 4 going into the Labor Day rematch. There should still be a lot of buzz going into that one.
Should be.
The question is, can Edmonton sell that out in time? And by in time, I'm saying this week. To do something that many people want. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Don't tease us.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Don't tease us. You know those are my favorite seats. Don't do it.
You have to sell out in time. You have to sell out early. You can't do it just days before. You want that lower bowl open?
You mean the Upper Bowl?
Upper Bowl open, sell out. All the tickets at lower bowl are up on the website. I could tell that right now. Like they look like all that they're there. The west side is, look at this. There's not a lot. Just these corners over here. East side in the sun, a little bit more.
Wow.
That's moving.
And they're all released?
And that usually it's not that released. Like if I go to the game after, which is it's the Riders, so maybe there would be more. No, look at this Rider game. Nothing in these sections here. Because they're not released yet.
Huh.
They released all of them, it looks like, for the Labor Day rematch.
Well, would you look at that?
They're not going to open up the Upper Bowl if they sell week of.
Maddie.
They have to know ahead of time. Edmonton, you want that Upper Bowl open, or you want part of that Upper Bowl open?
Can't even believe you're doing this.
Get on the tickets. Get on those tickets.
Hey, man, you know what? That was just a gritty win. It wasn't the sexiest, flashiest win. There were flashes of brilliance. I mean, Justin Rankin is the guy. That's clear. Get him the ball. Pass him the ball. Heck, I don't know. Put him back there on some returns once in a while.
I'm trying to think the word for this.
And Cole Snyder, we owe you a beer.
Justin Rankin.
But laces out.
What is the word? He's not the best running back in the game.
I think he's the most dynamic player in the CFL.
That's maybe the word I'm going for right now. At least I'll say at the very least right now, offensive player.
Offensive, sure.
Taking away quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are a different breed. Running back, receiver, he might be the most dynamic player right now in the Canadian Football League.
Who's more dynamic?
Brady Oliveira can do both, but I don't think it's the same. Like,
not at that tempo.
No.
Not at that speed.
I don't think
with that agility.
I don't know if there's another player right now. Maybe we're being full homers right now, but I don't know if there's another player that just, whether it's passing or receiving or rushing, is as dynamic as Justin Rankin right now in the Canadian Football League. I don't know of one. I'm just trying to, I just honestly, the closest might be that I'd have is Brady Oliveira, because the guy can pick up the all-purpose yards too. But if I'm putting him in the conversation with Brady, what was Brady last year?
MOP.
He was MOP. He was MOP.
You were all laughing at the glue guy.
I still, it's
Saying,
not this year.
You shush, glue guy. Even Play Alberta wouldn't put it up.
They wouldn't. They even got Isaac Howard for Calder, but they didn't get your Justin Rankin for MOP.
Oh, my goodness.
Jay, final thoughts?
No, just look, keep building. Keep taking these steps in the right direction. This team has now gotten, it's a streak, 2 wins in a row. 3-6 on the season. If they can go out and take care of business next week in Ottawa, that would show, that the maturity's coming along as well. That this team now knows this is a business trip. This is what we're supposed to do. Take care of business. This is an Eskimo or Elks team that is playing much, much, much better than they have been all year. The facets of the game are slowly starting to come together. The defense has risen up. The offense played a lot better tonight. Credit to the O-line. They didn't give up a sack. They rushed the ball. I mean, what else do you want from your O-line? That was a good game. Defensively, created turnovers. 3 turnovers. The strip fumble, 2 turnovers on downs. That is good. So, I mean, for the first time this season, maybe, Maddie, special teams is not one of the top 2 facets of the game.
Yeah.
And that's not saying special teams were awful. It's just, that's not bad. That's a positive sign.
Next up for the Edmonton Elks, Ottawa Redblacks, Friday, 5:30 out in Ottawa. Green and Gold kickoff show will be 4:30 right here on Edmonton Sports Talks next Friday. So the Reed Wilkins show reads off. So it's you and I for the Reed Wilkins show. And partway in that, we'll do the Green and Gold show, but really we're doing the whole show.
We'll have to switch seats.
Mid-show? Not a chance.
At 6, because that's my seat on the Reed Wilkins show.
But it's at 4:30. And we're also live at Red Tail. then we got to come back here. I have sent many emails on the fact that on August 22nd, we're broadcasting live from Redtail.
Yes, you have. Yeah. I knew that.
And then we have to come back here during the game quickly. Halftime.
Yeah.
Rush back here at half.
Sure.
That's up next. Coming up tomorrow at noon, right here on our audio streams on Edmonton Sports Talk. Pipeline Show returns for season 21. Ooh. 21 starts with Guy Flaming. Sunday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, Murray McCord, Curtis Stock. They have the VIP golf show. And then we are back Monday, 6 o'clock, Nielsen Show. Dusty, Eric, YouTube, Trev's not here. Benny, no longer the intern. They will have things for you as we will kick off, start our next week of Edmonton Sports Talk. Full programming 6 until 6. Edmonton Elks, they defeat the Toronto Argonauts 28-20. They improved to 3-6 on the season. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Green and Gold Postgame Show live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. On behalf of Jay Milne, I am Matt Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your night and your weekend. Talk with you on Monday.